Hi folks, I just wanted to raise awareness of phishing. There's quite a lot of phishing emails and texts doing the rounds. This is a text that I received earlier, supposed to be from HSBC Bank. Now that's alarm bell number one for me because I don't actually bank with HSBC Bank. However, let's just say that I do for the purposes of this exercise. So the text message says HSBC, a payment was attempted from a new device on 5th of April at 2:30 p.m. If this was not you, please visit, and it gives you a link. And then you'll notice, by the way, some of these are less sophisticated than others. This one actually has the word HSBC in the title, but what I want you to notice that pay-mobile is the actual domain of this URL. HSBC dot has got nothing to do with it. It's just been added so that it looks more legitimate. Just be aware of that. Another thing I'll just say at this point is, if you do get messages out of the blue, then don't click on the links, because sometimes these links can take you to or can download files into your system, etc. So what I did before I actually clicked on this is I transferred it to my computer, and I open it up in a browser which is in a sandbox. So basically what that means is if I do download any nasty files, it's not actually going to destroy my system or anything like that. It's not going to actually be downloaded onto my live system. Another way I could have done it was with a virtual machine, but that was taking too long. I did try it. So if you do click on the link, what happens is it takes you to this bogus website. Now, if you were an HSBC customer and you're used to using internet banking, then you would just see that as your normal login screen, because that's exactly what it is. It looks exactly the same as the actual HSBC login screen, because I tried it earlier on. But there is a difference, and the difference is, or one of the differences is, if you click on any of these links, they're not actually going to take you to anywhere. You can click on any one of them and it will not actually take you anywhere. But they don't need to. This is the thing. The people that do this, all they do is they clone the site itself, and then they enable a couple of the controls or boxes that you can put details into. All they're interested in is, because most people will just go into that, think it's a login screen, and go straight to the login box and put in the details. Yeah. So that's all they want you to do. They want you to put in your username. So straight away, they've got your username, because this is not an actual login screen. This is just an internet form, basically. And what's happening is they will log what you put into that box. So if you put in your username, there you go. They've got your username. You click on continue. I'm not going to do it just now because actually it hangs for ages and ages, and it would make this a very, very boring video, or even more boring than it is just now, you might say. But if you click on continue after you put in a bogus, put in your name, it will take you to the next part of the login screen. I will say, however, I know that this is bogus because I put just any old random name in there, and it takes you to the next bit of the login process. Now, obviously, if it was a real site and it's an actual login screen, what happens is the system will take that login username that you've put in, and it will compare it against its own database to say, is this a legitimate login or a legitimate username? And if it's not, it will return an error. So if I put any old nonsense into there, then it should return an error. It didn't. It took me to the next part of the login screen. It then asked me for a memorable word. It actually asked me for my first school. So I type in the name of my first school, and there you go. They've got my memorable word. So they've got my username, and they've got my memorable word. It may actually ask for a password. Obviously, different sites have different login ways and means. So they might find a username and a password, or a username and a memorable word, and a PIN number, or whatever it may be. In this case, it was a memorable word, and it told me to put in a security number as well. And again, I just put in any old nonsense number. Okay, and it just took it, and it takes you to a screen that then shows you this this bogus transfer that was supposed to be taking place. As far as you're concerned, if you're a legitimate user, you just put in your username, you put in the security information, and it's taking you to a screen that says, yeah, this payment was set up, and it gives you the opportunity to cancel it. They're quite happy. The scammers are quite happy at that because now they've got your details. As far as you're concerned, you've just checked your account and you've stopped a bogus payment. Think nothing else of it. And then a couple of months down the line, somebody logs in as you because they've got your details. So how do you mitigate this? Well, very first thing I would say, and especially banking apps and PayPal, etc., they will almost always have a two-factor authentication. So if they've got two-factor authentication, or if you're offered to use two-factor authentication, then enable it, because that's going to keep you safe. And it means that if you accidentally click on one of these links, put in your actual details, it won't matter, because the scammers aren't going to be able to actually get into your account. They're only going to be able to get so far because of the two-factor authentication, because they'll send a code to your phone. If they've not got your phone, then they can't do that last bit to get them into your account. And the last thing that we say, just as far as this is concerned, is just be vigilant and be suspicious. If you get a text or an email out of the blue asking you to click on something and put in personal details, and especially security details, and especially financial details, etc., then that's probably going to be a scam. If you have got any doubts, or you think, oh, but what if it's not a scam? Maybe it is a dodgy payment. Well, phone your bank. That's what you need to do. Just phone the bank or phone PayPal or whoever it is that's been sending you the email, and ask them if they've sent you an email or a text. And the chances are they've not, and it's an actual scam. So just be suspicious. Have a good day.